Even when I messed up grabbing it.
Need a second one.
I know.
How does it make it lifting it too?
It just feels way cozier because it's just a handle, you know?
Yeah. $30?
Yeah.
It's an awesome tool.
Try it?
Yeah.
I'll go over.
Tiny log.
It'll probably be like a roof log if you use it.
It'd be so fast and it's nice.
I know.
You don't have to break your back bending over to grab it. What are these things called?
Grabber thingies. Grabber thing?
It's called a... This says Timber Sacks Husqvarna. Not sure that's what it is. Put it on this side. It's a good, what, 5 logs?
Yeah. Well, this was a great purchase. I just saw it there when I was at the steel store picking up the new chainsaw. And I've seen these tools being used by many other people doing this, and also on Alone in the Wilderness, which is what first kind of inspired me to try it out for myself. So I picked one up, and now I can see why everyone uses them. It just makes carrying logs so much easier, especially since you don't have to bend over as much. But with something like this, you can just clasp over and pick it up, and the weight of the log is what's holding these teeth together. And it gives you a nice handle to do it. Definitely gonna get another one of these, so if me and Peter or whoever's up here that can give me a hand are doing this, the other guy doesn't have to hang so low since this does. But yeah, it's a pretty basic system. It's crazy how well it works. Like, just the weight of it holds it down, and the only way to release it is to lift up. So of course when something like a log's pulling down on it, it's not going anywhere. Well, now that I can work on the log cabin project again, it's time to tackle getting all these logs that we previously brought from my cousin's property up here. And if you had seen that video, then you know we had like 5 guys carrying most of these logs, because some of them will probably be fine, like this one and this one, but ones like this are just absolutely massive logs. And these ones haven't been able to sit as long as the ones we just carried, so they're definitely going to be a lot more dense and wet and heavier. But it's going to be really nice to have these off, start peeling them, and then, you know, adding them to the cabin. It's just going to be a lot of work as well. Is that one of my socks? Is that a sock? Wow. That is dirty now.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Ooh, let me see. Wow. That's a nice sock you found. Where did you even get that, huh? Let me see. Let me see. Wow. Wait, sit. Shake. Gentle. Sit. Stay. Gentle. Gentle. Wait. Wait. Shake. Okay, whatever.
Well, as you can see, there's been a lot of trimming, so we'll see if this fits now. Well, that sounded good. Man, that new chainsaw really makes this so much easier. I wouldn't even have attempted cutting lengthwise with the electric one. I had tried it before, and it just doesn't work. Like, the whole thing will bog down, and it's probably not good for the chainsaw at all. So, but now that I have the new one, I can, you know, rip like a couple centimeters, inches off, and takes no time at all, as you saw. I probably won't have to do that with most of the logs. This one was just very weird. It had a big bend and, you know, tons of different knots, so it just made more sense instead of re-notching and re-notching to just cut it and then notch to that when it's flat on both sides, which actually made it have a really tight fit. I use the electric chainsaw for cutting the lines and the notches and stuff because it doesn't have as much power, so it's really easy to control, and I can make sure that I'm not accidentally cutting too deep. I did test the new chainsaw for that purpose, and I'm sure, you know, if you're skilled enough, it would be totally fine, but since I'm not used to that power, it just slices through those logs so fast, and it's a lot harder to do those finer details, at least for me. So for now, I'm going to be using the electric chainsaw for the notches, for all of the ripping and trimming and cutting off branches, and also just for cutting trees down around the island or cutting them up into firewood. That new chainsaw is an absolute blessing. I'm really glad I got that. But this log took a lot longer than I was expecting. Probably got an hour before the sun sets now. It's starting to set a lot earlier and rise a lot later. So I think I'll just work on some firewood while I have daylight. I almost forgot, but a few of you guys commented on my last week's video because I was missing a clip that I said was going to be in there. So I'll play that now. For those of you who didn't watch last week's video, I was building a stairway and a walkway to the top level of the boathouse here, and I never explained why. So here's that video clip now. Sorry for missing it. I was editing a little bit late and just forgot to put it in there. Alright guys, so I just finished up putting in the last few screws, and now this whole walkway is completely done. I'm not sure if I have footage of what it looked like before, but there was no stairs, and it was much thinner than this with no guarding rails. All of this was just old wood. It was actually pretty dangerous to walk across because it wasn't like anchored into the stone or anything. It was just kind of wobbling. And then last year I did a repair with my Uncle Tim, and we were just, you know, trying to make it as sturdy as possible by screwing on all these different boards, but it it just wasn't safe. So we completely redid it, and I think it looks really nice. Albert did a great job. I just spent the past 3 days helping him with it, and trying to learn as much as I could from him, because he is, as you can tell, a really, really good craftsman. But the reason why this walkway needs to be in tip-top shape is the top. This is obviously the boathouse, so you can expect that boats go in the bottom. But the top up here is a huge bunkhouse, basically, where, as most of you will know, I have a really, really large family with tons and tons of cousins, and usually whenever the guys come up, there'll be like 30 of us or more. So we need a spot for everyone to stay, and this is usually it. There's just tons of these beds scattered all the way throughout, and then this is usually where the guys sleep. It's a really nice room, actually, and it's got a nice view overlooking the lake, since we got a little bit of elevation up on the top floor here. So yeah, with tons of guys, and all of our cousins are really big guys as well, very tall, walking across that thing all the time. The old one definitely didn't cut it. It's far too dangerous. This one's wider, sturdier, and just much better.
Well, that sounded good. Looks good.
Wow.
It's actually perfect. Beautiful.
As some of you may know, my only sister is soon to be married. She came up from Toronto with some of her bridesmaids and friends to visit the island for a few days. So I put the cabin project on hold, and me and Peter started to clear off the barge to make them something special to cruise around in.
Look how nice this is. I thought on the water. On what pretty much all the stuff. It looks so good. What is it? I will.
Thank you all for watching this week's video. As always, a special thank you to those of you who have subscribed to my Patreon channel. Your support really means a lot, and it helps me to be able to keep making these videos and bringing you new content each week. And as always, I will see you guys next time.